Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jane. I'm a life coach, a women's coach. In this channel, we speak a lot with you about self-development, how you can activate your feminine energy and be the happiest, most aligned version of yourself. And today I'm having my dearest friend, Christina, and this podcast would be about your single era. Both of us are single. We just want to inspire women who are going through a similar journey right now, share with you our sacred resolutions on partnership, relationships, self-love, and overall your purpose.
Hello everyone, I'm so grateful and happy to be here, Jane, to be on your podcast. Since I feel like this topic is really something that has also been really important in the last 7 months. So I've been single for about 7 months now, and it was a true journey. I've personally focused a lot on working through unresolved trauma as well, through my body. I'm also a somatics and breath facilitator, and I'm very much into psychology and relationships, also art. So that's just a tiny little bit about me. I think we're gonna dive in.
We are here on one of the most beautiful islands in the world, which is called Lombok. I will actually show you a little bit what we see in front of us right now. The vibration of this place is super high, and we went with Christina on a creative trip. We have some projects here to do. We just had soulful conversation yesterday evening about our past, our lives, and we found out that we have so much in common. How we think, what we think is alike. My first question, what we will be discussing now, would be, what does it mean to you, Christina, to be whole and complete before you actually enter the relationships? What do you think is the purpose of this time while you're single? Why some women are getting into relationships and some of them need to go through a period of singleness, loneliness, soul searching, discovering themselves?
I think it's such a deep question, and I don't think there is one right answer to it. It's like how we discussed yesterday as well, that we all have different triggers and we all need to go through different types of lessons. But I feel like really in general coming to a term of being completely at peace with yourself before entering your long-term relationship, and I want to even say your marriage, if that's what you want to enter, your family life. I feel like before you enter this kind of committed relationship, the universe will test you over and over, and it will make sure that you are really showing up as the best and highest version of yourself, but also like the cleanest and clearest in mind, body and spirit. So I feel like it's really a path of complete alignment.
And I feel like we both think of it from a very healthy perspective, because in my opinion, it's not hard to get into the relationship, you know, like there are so many men around you, and also like as a woman, if you're taking care of yourself, of course, like you would attract the masculine energy into your lives. The point is not to get into the relationship for the sake of having them. Yeah, you can put it. Thank you. We have some podcast drinks with us.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The point is to truly be ready to enter the connection which is aligned and in which both of you can grow, can feel happy, can feel healthy, and can support each other on this journey. And that's why you need some inner work, and that's why you need to go through lessons, maybe some karmic relationships and pain. This period, I feel like it's given to people who want, like to certain people who want to experience what is true love, what is healthy love, healthy connection. Because you can get to the connection very easy.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
I'm sure you have a lot of men who would be into to date with you. You know, you're smart, you're beautiful, but what you are looking for?
It's really this, like I have high expectations and I also have high expectations of myself. So for me, it's really all about, I think we're going to get to this later on, but we talked a little bit also about family and about how we are also resolving so much of our ancestors' trauma and things like that. And I want to make sure, I want to have children and a family. I want to make sure that I don't bring this into my family and that I don't pass this onto my children, and that I can show up as the best version of myself for my partner and for my children. And we hear this so many times that really, like, you can only love someone or be loved by someone if you truly, truly love yourself. And this is so true. Like, you can only refill someone else's cup if your own cup is full.
It's so right. And honestly, like during times in my life where I was going through harsh heartbreaks, I always knew that, okay, maybe this is the sign from like life, universe, that I have some more inner work to do. And it is so interesting because sometimes we can be in the relationships, but are you sure that this is love? Are you sure that what you have is a true love? Or maybe it is you having an unhealed inner child within you who still needs that mom love or daddy's love, and your partner is simply the projection of your parent from whom you're trying to receive love. So it's not like you have something to give to another person, but you are consuming out of lack. You can enter relationships from a place of lack where you crave love, you need someone to give you that love. Or if you're healed enough, if you've done your inner work, you can enter the relationship from a completely different state where you love yourself, as you said. And because you love yourself, because you are whole, you don't need someone to fill your cup.
Yes.
You can actually love another person. And love is not about like taking.
Yeah.
Love is about giving, right?
Yeah.
Exchanging. What do you think is the steps, important points in the life of a woman that she needs to acknowledge, discover, go through before she actually is able to give that love and be in a sacred partnership with husband, make kids?
I feel like there is definitely a big step. There is a big step from just being or getting into any other relationship, where I feel like as women we heal a lot after every single relationship, and we really get our power back and we really grow in big ways, right?
Yeah. It's like a quantum leap.
Yes, it's like a quantum leap, exactly. But I feel like for a lot of us, the last time before we meet our life partner is the most challenging one, because it will bring up every single thing that you haven't dealt with. Also a lot of maybe karmic relationships, and really I think the temptation before that might be really high. The temptation of feeding into your ego, of having random men show up that are maybe even amazing men. Like everything on paper, everything is great.
Yeah.
But you just don't feel that spark, or that, like, not even the spark, it's just not quite it.
Or, sorry to interrupt you, but it's important, or life can send you the man that you think is exactly what you need and what you've been searching for, but there would be a test on self-love and sense of worth with that man, and if you're not passing this test, you're going back to the same cycle of teaching. I actually had this situation not long time ago where I met a man when I was in Dubai, and I thought, oh my God, like this is what I wanted my whole life, like spiritually, physically, mentally. And then there was a test, like because the man behaved in a certain way, and I knew that if I'm gonna like allow this to happen, means that like I'm not maybe respecting myself in some way. And I had this like strong temptation because I thought like, oh my god, like this is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
But I had to say no and close the door and leave. And I feel like before you actually meet your person, you need to pass the test, and also, as you said, go through the period of solitude.
Yeah, there is just no other way, I think. And this solitude is actually a beautiful thing. And what has also really helped me personally is that thinking about this solitude not in a bad way, but actually looking at it from this perspective of this being the last time I am in solitude, like by myself, and really taking this time to really fully enjoy myself before any like committed relationship, before children, etc. I'm really looking forward to this. Don't get me wrong, but just knowing that this is probably going to be the last time that I will just be single and I can do whatever I want, wherever I want, kind of, and not have any attachments. It's a freeing mindset.
It is. Like yesterday, you told me about it, and it can be quite hard, you know, during like the periods of your singleness when you just like maybe you feel like you're ready for the relationship, but it doesn't like come up, you know, and what to do during these periods where you're like longing for that, but something is not ready yet. And it's nice to kind of like change your mindset a little bit, and as you said, like just imagine, like as you said, what if like in a week I'm gonna meet my husband and I will be a wife, a mother. I would not have this freedom anymore, time for myself, embrace this precious time.
Yeah, I think, you know how they say, especially for these women who have always felt that they had a higher calling, it's most of the times this great love will really be blocked before you step into your purpose. And you don't need to get it right like 100%. You don't need to be perfect or anything. But just knowing that you are secure on your path, because this sends out such a different energy to your soulmate who is already out there. Like this person also already exists, you know? It's not like he doesn't exist yet. It's just that
If
you
you
haven't
exist,
met.
he exists.
That's insane, Jane. I always told that myself.
Right?
Yes.
It's like
I always tell that myself, really.
but it is so powerful if you think about it. Like
100%.
there were moments where I felt fear, like what if I'm never gonna meet the person who would share the same like paths, thoughts, energy, experience as me. And then I thought, but like if I exist, it means
must
there
exist.
must be a person
It
that's
must.
like the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, continue. Sorry, I just
No, but this is such a valid point, and it's all about energy, really, all. And I can just maybe also share a little bit of what had helped me really after my breakup. And I know that maybe many of you watching this might not be like super religious as well or something like this, but I really truly believe that no matter in what you believe, that if you try sharing your thoughts and connecting to a higher source, something that is connecting all of us, the universe, source, God, whatever you might want to call this, that this will help you a lot. Like really help you quantum leap, because when you put God first and you make everything about God and you realize that you are not actually really serving the people, you're actually serving God, and you are a channel for God to come through you to get to others. And I feel like this is also how you will get to your true love.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We had this powerful conversation yesterday on the topic of faith and God. And I just had this insight that it's not about religious even, like religion. It's not. It's about like that connectedness with the divine within you. And if you don't reach that connectedness before you meet your partner, your husband, it would be that you're still searching for the source from the external. For example, like why sometimes it doesn't work in your relationships, because your partner is, for you, is the source of love, the source of happiness, of satisfaction. Why so many women, including me, believe that once I get into the relationships, my life would just change. I would be like the happiest person in the world. But the truth is that no one, nothing from the external can give you that feeling of satisfaction. It only comes from within and from that connection with God.
Yes.
So once you get that connection and realize that actually the source of your love is not the man, but it is here, you can take that love unlimitedly and give to another person.
And we also spoke about this briefly, that most of the times when we really fall in love with someone like crazy, it's most of the times that we are falling in love with ourselves, because they bring out a version of ourselves in us that we didn't know or that we were longing for, and that's what we're craving. It's not actually the person, it's us that we're craving. And once we can just bring this into our own existence without any external source, like you said, this will all just be a great add-on, you know?
Exactly. Like, it is so powerful to realize that you're actually falling in love with the feeling that the person activates in you. So then, what's the purpose of the relationships?
You know, the first thought that just comes to my mind, I mean, this could be many things, but I really believe that our only purpose here on earth is to spread love, to share love, to fortify love. And I feel like this only truly happens when two people come together who have such an amount of self-love for themselves. And then when they come together, it's like, you know, there's like, it multiplies, exactly. And it just radiates onto other people in their surroundings. And I really feel like that's the purpose, but that's my understanding. So.
I also feel like when you're like healed, when you're full of love, self-love, you're whole and complete, the purpose of relationships is to reproduce, is to bring you life, is to support each other on this journey where both people are whole and complete. They don't need each other to survive, but they're so good as a combo, and they are multiplied, as you said. Like, the power of them is multiplied when they're together, and they can bring more to this world in their business, making kids, I don't know, following their purpose. Maybe their purpose is together to create something that would change the world, but also just enjoy and being there for each other during hard times and good times. It's like the cherry on the top.
And I also think that that's probably why we as women, we are craving most of this content and consuming most of it, because I think that the woman plays such an important role in this. Because we are talking about energy, we will tap into this later. Can I share already?
I want you to share, because this is actually so powerful.
I feel like the men are really here, the masculine energy, right? It's very like grounded and all about action and everything. And the man is really here to protect, right? To protect in the 3D. He's here to protect the family from, like, if a lion comes and attacks us, then he will protect. But the woman, I feel like this is not talked about enough, is here to protect the family in the 5D. And how can she do something like that if she's not tapped into God, into her own energy, if she doesn't have just established the perfect relationship with herself?
And if she doesn't have foundation within
the foundation
herself.
Yes. And it's really, that's why this connection to God is so important. You know, we're not like trying to just make this up for no reason, but it's really
It's like when it gives you the feeling of groundedness and rootedness. You are rooted, you know when you activate this connection that you can trust that whatever is happening happens for your highest good. You have the faith, and if something happens in the relationships, you as a woman is kind of the mental support, you are the energetic
Energetical.
support, while he is like the physical support, but you are the one who holds, like, no, I would say the masculine is the container, but you are the one who fills this container. That's why it is so important also what we were discussing yesterday. What kind of thoughts you have about your partner, and what do you bring out? For example, like if you have a partner and there is something going on in your connection, and then you get out to your girlfriend, a friend, and chat about your man, about your relationships. And this is so tricky because you're actually not protecting the energy within the couple, but you are, how would you describe it? Like what we were talking yesterday.
I feel like you're creating an energy leak.
Yeah.
You're creating a little weak spot where you let energy flow out. Because sometimes, even though it's, for example, your best friends, and they don't mean any harm, but it's just natural that everyone will form a story in their minds. They will form an opinion as well. And this will also get kind of entangled into your marriage then. And maybe if someone is going through a really difficult period in their own marriage, it's easy for them to want to hear that someone else is also not really doing well, because like they kind of feed off that energy. And once again, it's not that they mean any harm, it's just, it's so common. I don't want to say it's natural or it's normal, but it's so common that especially we as girls, we just go out with our girls, we chat and we share all these intimate details.
And it's so hard not to share, you know?
It's so hard not to share because everyone else will share something, so you kind of want to share as well. Imagine if you're going through really difficult time. But I'm just thinking to myself, why would I go out and meet with my girlfriends, complain to them about my husband, instead of approaching my husband and saying like, this doesn't feel right for me, let's look at it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. An important thing also here, it can be from a place of that your friend is simply like also going through a hard time and she wants like to feel good because you are struggling, but also, your friend might want the best for you, but she would be operating from her own experiences and projections. If you're telling a story about your man and this girlfriend, she had a trauma in her relationships, she would advise you something based on her own story, experiences, and then it might not be for your highest good because this person has a completely different childhood story and so on and so on. So we're just leading you to an insight that sometimes it is good to keep your love life a little bit like
I would say
protected and private.
Yes. And in case it really doesn't work out, then you can, call in maybe a therapist, a counselor, someone like that, someone who is actually equipped to deal with these problems.
And who doesn't have any like
attachment,
and there's no bias like perception, but just like pure awareness and consciousness. No agenda, basically. And it's also very interesting that we were discussing, and we just touched a little bit on that for some women, they honestly just get married when they are 20 years old. It's fated. Maybe it is their purpose to be a mom, to be a housewife. This is what like probably the soul has chosen once it came. But for some women, and we found it in our lives, I think both of us, is that because there is some sort of a purpose that needs to be filled, it's like, and I feel like so many of you who are watching this might find the same, that until you develop in your purpose and open up, I know so many stories where the woman first had to fulfill her potential and then the relationships were
Everything
just
came.
opening up, but her sole mission was to first give something to other people. So one of the reasons why you're not in the relationships yet might be also that there is something that you need to do before you actually enter the partnership. There is a mission for you on this planet that you are here for to do. And instead of taking it as a curse, you can just like trust the journey and follow your purpose.
Yeah, I feel like also it's so important to emphasize on the fact that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be yet like super financially independent or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I think both of us, we have this mindset of still wanting to be with a provider husband, because we believe that we will be providing so many other things in the relationship. So that's beautiful, and these two things can coexist. But as we spoke about the woman being the energetical protector in the 5D, a woman can literally make or break a man. And I feel like we've heard this a lot in our own experiences even, and from other friends of ours, that they knew that they had to you good? They knew that they had to fulfill their mission first, or purpose, or tap into that. And whenever they would maybe get into a relationship, they would think like, oh, well, I'm in a relationship now, I can just relax now, maybe I can trick the universe. But then what ended up happening, for example, if their mission was to become financially independent, then instead of them not being financially independent, their partner, the man, would actually lose all of his money. So that like the universe forced the woman to look at this shadow, right?
No, it's definitely, it is so connected. And also I actually speak a lot about this in my course Femininity 101, which I highly recommend you if you're going through this period of your single era, because there I share with you about feminine energy, about self-love, and how to find yourself as a woman before you actually enter the relationship and you can coexist with the masculine. If you don't know who you are, if you don't have interests, if you don't have hobbies, if the world, your world, simply turns around men, these relationships would not last long, because this energy, first of all, is repelling. No one likes that.
No.
And you need to have your own world. You need to have your own friends, your own hobbies. You are not one. You are two universes that come together to create something bigger. And it's like you coexist, but you're still different universes. And that's why I believe it is so important for the woman, before she enters conscious, sacred partnership with her husband, is to be aware who she is, what she likes, what she wants to do with her life, who are her friends, what is her interests. Because if she doesn't have that, it would be toxic codependency, the cycle where the woman would be losing herself over and over again, because life would be teaching her this wholeness and independency in a way.
Yes, that's so beautifully said. And also I really believe that it's us women who actually choose our husband or our man partner.
It's an interesting question that I was having for a long time. Who actually chooses, a man or a woman?
I really believe that it's the woman. It's the woman, but based on that's why it's so tough, because like as you said, you need to go through so many things that you understand what it is that you actually want or that you don't want, because so many of us, we don't even know what we don't like or what we want in a partner. What are your non-negotiables? What are your values in life? And this you can tell, like, look at your friends, look at the people you interact with. These relationships will tell you a lot about what your values are. And based on that, I feel like you definitely do choose your partner. Maybe it seems like the man will be the one who will approach you first, but the woman is the one who lets this man approach her in the first place. You know, it's an energetic, again, 3D, the man approaches in the 3D, the woman allows it in the 5D. That's my belief.
This is so powerful because I feel like during this period of solitude, for example, in my life, I realized exactly what I want and what are my non-negotiables. And if previously I thought like, I'm not sure about this point, like, what if it is wrong? Here I can say that you can choose whatever you truly want and need, you know, like, and you should stick to that, because in that way you are showing self-love and self-respect, you know, when you're not settling for less, even though the man could be like the ideal, amazing,
yeah.
like as I said once, Brad Pitt, you know,
sorry.
like this period of solitude is given to you to finally realize what are your values, what are you good with, what are your non-negotiables, and then behave according to that. Behave according. And you cannot do it if you don't have this period with yourself, soul searching, with God, just like tapping into who am I actually, what is important for me. For some women, they don't care about a man being the provider, like they're fine. For some women, this is important that their man is the provider, and this is completely fine. You can choose what suits you, and then you are ready when the man approaches you to distinguish, is it good for you or no?
Yeah, 100%. I think you're so right. And I just want to say again, the temptations will be here for sure. It's like how it always is with the universe. And men showing up who are maybe half ready or who are almost perfect. But that's really going to be up to you to just be like, no, I really wanted this and I'm standing up for myself. It's how you treat yourself. That's the way how others will treat you. Simple as that.
Because at the end of the day, if you would be choosing a man who is not choosing you, he would not choose you because you're not choosing yourself. And I feel like it must be very mutual in a way. It's not like it's only woman who chooses. I feel like it's both. It's both healthy individuals who meet each other and who realize, wow, I want to commit to that. And both of them choose every single day. Today I choose to be with you. Today I choose to give you something, to give you love, to give you like affection, attention, whatever. And it is just so important to know your values, know what is your non-negotiable. And I also believe that it is very important to open your heart and not be afraid of vulnerability. Not be afraid when you meet this person to acknowledge your feelings, to open up without the fear of rejection.
That's tough, I'm not gonna lie.
That's the toughest one, you know.
But so important, you're right.
I've been working on that for so long because it was my main like weakness in a way, and I believe that sometimes the only step that stays between you and the partnership is you opening up to your feelings, acknowledging them and sharing them. That's it, you know.
Sometimes we're too stuck in the 3D and what our ego wants or doesn't want or what it is afraid of, and we self-sabotage ourselves, I think, in so many times. Like, especially also we come from both from Slavic backgrounds, and for us it's kind of normal that the man would approach us.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel that natural, or that the guy will pursue us more than we do. But yeah, sometimes you also just need to really put all of that aside, because in a way it's also how we have been conditioned. And I'm not saying that you should go out and pursue all kinds of guys, but when you feel that there might be something that's worth, like, really, as you said, trying and opening up and really being vulnerable. Because also an important thing, playing games, I feel like it will always backfire. I see so many people also on YouTube coaching about this and manipulation and all this stuff. But guys, if we really believe in God truly, like, my person is out there. What is meant for me can't miss me. Like, if this is my person, literally no matter how or what I do, or like if I'm being embarrassing on the first date, or I feel like I fucked up something, like it cannot miss me, you know? That's really truly what I believe. So all these games, it's just a big waste of time and energy, in my opinion.
I totally agree with you, and I think this understanding also helps you heal this fear of rejection. Because if you think of it like, if this is your person, then if you open up and share how you feel, if this is not your person, then you will just make your path even easier, because you will see that, okay, maybe this is not my man, maybe this is not my person, okay, bye, I'm gonna live my life. And you free so much energy within you, this energy of overthinking, you know. And I feel like it's so much easier than playing games and manipulating. So much easier is just to confront. I say that it's easier, but it's not easy actually, like in terms of like, you need to have guts and to come and actually step forward and say how you feel. But sometimes we put so many blocks for ourselves in our mind, and it's actually way easier than we think. Just to share how you feel, and if this is your person, great. If it's not, you're going further.
Yeah.
To finalize this short but powerful podcast, I want to ask you, as you recently went through the experience of somatic training and everything, how can a woman help herself during her single era, where sometimes she feels the voids, she feels the loneliness, she feels like she can't move forward anymore, like she just longs for this partnership? What could be the practices that can help her to come back to that wholeness, to that connection with God, maybe to that self-love? Because at the end of the day, if you're not there yet with the feeling of wholeness, it's not the best to enter the relationships. And it usually happens in your life where you are fully happy with yourself, happy with your life, where you don't need actually anyone to fulfill you. This is the moment where you meet that partner. So what would be the practical task, in your opinion, that every woman can start doing right now, if she's single, if this period somehow is tough, if you're still in the middle of your self-discovery and transformation? I think let's share both, like one or two from each side.
Yes, we haven't really touched on this in this podcast, but definitely also for your marriage later on, or your long-term partnership, nervous system regulation is gonna be your best friend. And also a man will feel if a woman can self-regulate herself or not. So not being codependent on self-regulation. And what does it mean? That when a trigger arises, that you know how to bring your nervous system down, how to regulate yourself without like having to send the long paragraphs of, oh, why did you do this, that, and you made me feel like this or that. No,
This is so important actually.
You acknowledge, and there are many techniques, so I will not be able to share all of them, but definitely one thing to understand, first of all, is that two things and feelings can coexist. So you can feel very hurt and maybe longing for this partner at the same time as really wanting to live out your purpose and focusing on yourself and self-love. These two things can coexist. I feel like acceptance is your first step to coming one step closer.
To acknowledge that you want a relationship,
Yes.
and that you are loving, and that you like, it's okay to want that. It's your natural feeling, especially as a woman. I feel like for a man, purpose stays on the first, like, and for a woman, it's our natural thing to build relationships,
Yes.
you know, to build like
The family, and yes, for sure. So exactly how you said, you can acknowledge you want to be in a relationship, and that you're also not quite there yet, and that you're working towards it. And the second tool that I personally love, and I know that you love it as well, is the journaling. The journaling is such a powerful tool, really. We both do it daily.
it is,
and
it's like it changed my life.
Same.
It brought me
Same.
out from very dark time to God, to knowing who I am, what I want, my desires, everything.
1000%. When I was going through my breakup, I remember it was I felt like I was dying inside, and I was journaling through the whole process, like literally crying a lot and just putting everything on paper. And at sometimes when you also struggle with connecting to God, you can let this be your channel. Literally set the intention that whatever comes onto these papers, you just let loose, and you see what comes and what you will write. That's conversation with God as well.
Yeah, you can call this conversations with God. I actually have a journal which I was doing in the very dark periods of my life, and it's now in London in my flat. And I honestly believe that this journal can be a book that you can sell for transformation, because there's so much channeling information there from God that, like, I don't know, it's just insane. But I definitely agree with you, like, journaling is an amazing tool to get to know yourself. Before you enter a relationship, you need to know yourself. What do you like? What are your desires? What is your vision for this life? And when you do this task every single day in the morning, you discover yourself more and more. And this is like such a beautiful journey of you and your soul. So this is amazing. And I also feel like during the period where you are single, it's important to do the therapy. And this is what has changed my life a lot, because at some point I realized that I'm actually not dating the man, I'm dating my own projection of a parent. And until I heal that relationship within myself with the parent, I would be meeting the same situation over and over again. And this is the place where you're not grown up as a woman, where you're still, there is this child within you who is longing for love, for attention, for validation. So until you heal that side within you, you would be seeing your mom and dad in your partners. So to be a grown up woman, radiant woman who is ready for being a wife, being a mom, I don't know, being a queen,
a lover as well.
A lover. It is so important to first be healthy within yourself, to heal your inner child, to heal your relationships with your parents, with your mom and dad, to let go of all the resentment, to acknowledge maybe that you have this need for validation, you have this need for love. Maybe speak to your parent or reparent yourself in the coaching session or through meditation. There are so many healing modalities for that. And once you've done that, you're actually able to see your partner without the projection for who he is, and to not put your projections and your pain on your partner. So in that case, you can actually build something, you know, which is healthy and aligned. So this would be, I think, my main tool that you can focus on while you're being in this era. And overall, just like to enjoy life, to enjoy yourself, to enjoy this self-discovery, like to enjoy that you're free. For example, now we came to this island together, we're having the best time of our lives, we can travel, we are free, you know, and this is also such a beautiful period. And don't put blocks, don't sit and wait, I will be happy when he comes, I will be happy when I will be married. Create your dream life first. Create that life that you crave so much from him. And I want to finish this like podcast from my side, from this powerful phrase, like, if you want to have the king in your life, be the queen. And the queen is not the girl that sits in her room and waits for someone to save her. The queen is the woman that has a purpose, that doing what she loves, travels around the world. She enjoys every single day, and her joy has nothing to do with the external, with who surrounds her. She is the one who creates her life. And when you will start creating your life and living your best life, your king will come. That's it.
Beautifully said. I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay.
100%.
I hope that you enjoyed our little podcast. Let us know if or which topic do you want us to elaborate, because we actually have a lot to share.
Thank you so much for having me, Jane.
Thank you
This was
so
a
much.
blast.
Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you for being here, and we're gonna see you in the next video. Bye bye.